Hi, my name is Anne-Louise Sterry. You know, not so long ago I hurt my knee and I had to be on crutches for a short time. Of course, people kept asking me what was wrong, and I didn't have a good story to tell them. In fact, it was fairly boring. An acquaintance of mine said, "I know what you were doing. You were pole dancing." Ha! He thought that was so funny. But I thought, what a great story. So I turned my story into this. Whenever anyone asked me how I had hurt my knee, I said I was teaching pole dancing to senior citizens at a senior citizen club, and in my enthusiasm to get my leg around the pole, I tore my MCL. Lots of people thought it was funny. Several people believed me. And you could see some of the ones that believed me were a little concerned about that. They were making assumptions, which is what I talked about the last time. I could only imagine what they were assuming about me because I said I was teaching pole dancing. This thought that I was teaching pole dancing led me back to not 19, that would have been way too long ago, 2007, when I took pole dancing lessons for a short time. You may be making assumptions about me already, but let me just tell you why. I had a young friend. She had taken pole dancing lessons to become more comfortable with her body and to get good exercise. And she started a class, and I wanted to help her out by going to the class. Off I went to my first pole dancing class. When I got there, the room was dimly lit and all the walls were red. There were mirrors along one side. I hate the mirror thing, you know what I mean? I wish there were no mirrors. But I thought I could just look away. As we walked in, the teacher suggested that we pick a pair of pole dancing shoes from this pile of shoes. They had to be something like this. In fact, these are not even high enough. These are not my real pole dancing shoes. I don't have them anymore. But along these lines, you know what I mean? The truth is, I can hardly walk in shoes this high, let alone shoes that are higher, but I picked my pair. They were red. Then we were told to put our pole dancing shoes on the side of the room. They would be for later. And we were led in a series of exercises, kind of like yoga and Pilates combined, and a lot of stretching exercises. Really quite a good workout. And then it was time for the pole. We all went and put on our pole dancing shoes. I was the oldest person there. There were women of all shapes and sizes and no men, but I was the oldest person there, and to tell you the truth, kind of a little chubby and not in the best shape of my life. I was not wearing a tiny leotard. I was wearing a pair of sort of half sweatpants and a t-shirt. Not very appealing, but that's what I had on. So we had to put our pole dancing shoes on and take turns walking across the room with our sexiest walk. I didn't even know what my sexiest walk was, and I was, well into my 40s by that time. I had to practice trying to find my sexy walk, which is really hard if you haven't done that before. It turns out this class was all about being comfortable with your body and being comfortable with yourself, as well as getting exercise. But to anybody I said it to, pole dancing, they said, their eyebrows went up, as if I was doing something awful. Assumptions, assumptions, assumptions. Now, just to tell you what happened at my pole dancing class after we had to do our sexy walk, we had to pick our pole dancing name. Our pole dancing name, a way they give you to do that is take the name of your first pet and the name of the first street you lived on. A lot of you may have done this in different capacities before, playing different kinds of games. I found myself thinking, could I make it up? Could I use my second street? Do I have to use my first pet? Well, okay, my first pet's name is Ginger, our cat. And the first street I lived on when I was really little was Hudson. So Ginger Hudson was supposed to be my name. I didn't really think that was very pole dancer-like. Ruby Hudson maybe, or Ruby Sylvan, that was the second street I lived on. Maybe that'd be a better name. The teacher said we could play with our names and come back the next week with the one we wanted to use. Now here we are, all lined up, practicing our sexy walk in our high heels. And the next thing we have to do is kind of stride up to the pole, put our arms on it, and jump up on the pole, wrap our legs around it, and slide down in a very athletic manner, shall we say. Can I just tell you that I tried and I tried and I tried and I could not get myself to hang on that pole. Mostly what happened to me was I just fell straight down to the bottom. It was a very frustrating experience. But I went back and I went back and I went back. I still never learned how to grab onto the pole and slide down. It takes a lot of upper body strength to do that, and I never had a lot of upper body strength. I still kept telling my friends I was going to pole dancing classes, and still the raised eyebrows. So just a thought for you. What do you make assumptions about when you meet somebody? What kind of assumptions do you think they make about you? You just never know, so be careful what you assume. Ciao. Till the next time I see you on the pole.